Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's me, your boy, Dad Ninja Dev, and I am here today with the two chuckleheads, minus Miss Elaine, who is out doing some work stuff. However, we do have a guest. You all may know her from the Nintendo Shack, Miss Rebecca Stone, a.k.a. Forrest Minish. How are you this evening?
Hi, Dev. I'm tired. Long day, long week, but I am excited to be here.
Yes,
I had to come join you guys tonight. Had to.
We really appreciate that. I know it was a little last minute, but glad you could show up. That's the beauty in having a conglomerate of people that you can just kind of call upon. Things happen. So, the two chuckleheads are also here, as Elaine lovingly refers to them. We'll start with you, Devin. How are you today?
Let it be known that I have never been on a show with her. Because you've been holding me back, Dev.
Me? Me?
Yes.
This is my first time podcasting with both of you, Delvin and Devin.
Right.
And I'm very excited about that.
See? It's your fault, Dev.
I'm sorry. How is it my fault?
I don't know, but I didn't feel like blaming Donnie right now.
Delvin, you could have come on to the Nintendo Shack at any time, and you're still welcome to.
No, I couldn't. Donnie banned me from Nintendo Shack.
This is correct.
Well, I'm
you
giving
wanna
you an
blame me?
open invitation right now, Delvin, that you can come on the Nintendo Shack at any time.
Don't do that to the show, Rebecca. It's the best. It's the best show we have. Don't torpedo it.
Yeah.
I
Don't
appreciate
sully
that,
the
Rebecca.
likes of him.
Welcoming you with open arms, unlike Donnie.
Okay.
Just terrible.
I
Just-
tried to save the show.
Just terrible. I don't get a DLC. I can't go on Shack. Y'all
You're
just
gonna
don't
get a
even want.
DLC.
Bull crap.
When I want to do it, you'll get one.
As you can see, my daughter has once again graced us. She's searching for God knows what for some project.
The fifth
Lord
chair.
have mercy. You're right. Donnie, how are you doing?
Greetings, Kooplings. I'm my neck hurts, but besides that, I'm doing swell. Dev, how about you, buddy?
Oh, I'm chilling. Just got done having dinner, having a brew, and
Yeah,
sitting
same.
here with you guys. So that's always good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
My leftover Wawa from like 4 hours ago.
We got rid of the kids
Wawa?
today.
Wawa.
What
The
is
best convenience store that is not like a 7-Eleven. It's classier than a 7-Eleven.
Surely by the name.
Coffee, get
As the name
food.
indicates.
Yeah.
Rebecca's
Wawa.
100% right. I can confirm Wawa is really good.
Now we
Thank
know
you,
it's
Delvin.
not.
Now you're really invited on the
No.
Nintendo Shack. You can come over anytime.
Wawa is fantastic. They
Pancake
have
guy says it's good.
Thank
No.
you.
I mean, if a daycare kid can say it, it's got to be good.
Of course.
they have
It's a
soups.
Native American word, so you can't make fun of that.
They have
mean, I can.
everything there.
Just get canceled.
And
but I
it's
totally
not like
can't.
it's the convenience of like fast, quick food, but it's high quality too. Like it's not like, greasy gas food store that you would want to stay away from. It's actually good.
People don't even go there for gas. They go there for the food stuff. That's how good it is. They have like milkshakes and soups and whole sandwiches like there's a Subway. It's great.
Yeah, they have like a hotline like Subway. It's good. It's good stuff.
Sounds suspect. It's too many.
It's
things
really
in one
good.
place. Don't trust it. Nah. All right. Well, before we jump into things, let me go ahead and thank our live on-air producers: Mr. Michael Masick, Edwin, Calo, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Ben Moxham, Nick Faulhaber, Paul Callicoat, Kyle, Haiman, myself, Josh Borbone, RJ Kern, Horse Girls 69.
Nice.
Zach Adams, Joe Wilson, and AJ Pentecost. Thank you guys for your patronage. We truly appreciate it. And if you're listening now, you get to hear Rebecca's before and after thoughts for the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real reason why you invited me.
Guess who we won't be hearing after Shack impressions from?
Me.
Delvin.
Banned me from Shack already.
No Shack for Delvin. Ever.
Just terrible.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to go ahead and start with the What You Playing segment. We're going to start with our guest, Miss Rebecca. What have you been playing?
Oh man, I don't know if you guys talked about this last week. I tried to avoid it because I know Donnie had finished the game, but I played through
let's do it.
all of Life is Strange True Colors. I finished it the other day. I had gotten to the point where I finished chapter 4, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just play a little bit more before I go to bed. Started chapter 5, and that was my point of no return, where I just had to keep playing. I would definitely say chapter 5 might be my favorite chapter in any Life is Strange game across the board. Like, I'm not saying the whole True Colors game, but chapter 5 as a whole, something about that just really, really struck a chord with me or something. I don't know. Donnie, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on all of it.
My biggest takeaway that I was most excited to hear somebody else that had played the game to tell me what they thought was that it's not that I didn't like it. I don't want to say that's too harsh.
I know you didn't like the whole plot line with Typhon and stuff.
Yeah, like that was just kind of very cookie cutter villain stuff. My biggest issue was I don't feel like they stayed true to their promise of Alex's empathy powers.
No?
It kind of bends into a telepathy thing, and then she has the ability to pull memories like from inanimate objects that are just exist and stuff like that. And it was so interesting because we're a couple weeks away. I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't really feel like this is a spoiler because it happens right at the start of the game. At the start of the game, she encounters herself in a confrontation. And because somebody is really super angry, she becomes really super angry and acts out. That I was like, this is neat. There's a lot of different storytelling implications because of this. It could be used as a strength. It could be used as a weakness. It might be something that we have to manage. I was into it. And I was just a little let down that I felt like that was the only time that I felt like her powers of empathy were actually empathetic.
There's two instances, and I don't want to get into like too much of what these are because you're right, it does kind of spill into that spoiler territory, but two instances where it is more of that her empathy and not so much of a supernatural part of it. But I think they wanted to include that supernatural element, and that's why it kind of turned into the telepathy.
I don't mind there being superhero stuff. That's what I said before. Like this is a game where we have rewound time, so like it didn't bother me at all. And I don't know the right word. I don't think if I had reviewed this, I would have sat down. I would have probably pulled out a thesaurus and really dug into how best to say this. It comes off almost like cheap. But like, there's got to be a better word for it than that because I don't feel slighted. It's just like you had a really good opportunity here, and I don't think you went for it. Because again, later on, when she can just like read people's minds and stuff, and it's like, well, now you're just a psychic.
Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying. Definitely. I think the mind reading part of that I can understand. I think when you were talking about how she's getting kind of the emotions off of the objects, they were all objects of importance or significance that were kind of, so it's almost like that person's emotions were like almost rubbed off on those objects.
And while I was playing it and I started talking about this with Melissa, I absolutely was like, I don't know if they could do it a different way. Because like, how do you convey emotion without, like in a video game, how do you make the player feel emotion without a story, without an experience? So they give you that,
it's tricky.
that vision. And I was like, it's one thing to throw a stone. It's another thing to be like, well, how would I do it? I don't know a better way. Like, I liked what they did that first time, and I just wanted more of that.
I think, honestly, I don't think they'll ever come close to the time rewinding mechanic again. And I wouldn't even be mad if they revisited that in a future Life is Strange game. If they said, okay, here's a new character, here's a new story. This person also has the same ability that Max Caulfield had. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if they did that. I think they can tell a new story with that same mechanic.
Well, Hayley's in the chat, and she says she feels the opposite, and I think that's fine.
I agree with Hayley. I liked it.
I don't think this is... you had asked me on Shaq before the game had come out if I thought it was going to be my favorite one. I don't think it's my favorite one.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I didn't like it. I think it was very good. It was very good. I very much enjoyed my time with it. Story was... I wish it was more complex. That was one thing that I did say. I feel like the other stories had a lot more threads to pull on. There were a lot more things to investigate. I felt like I got to know and like other characters besides the main character more outside of even the romance options?
Were a huge strength for me. The characters and it's meaningful. All of their interactions, and again, not getting into any spoilers or anything, but I felt honestly like they dabbled with this in the first game, not so much Life is Strange 2, but in the first game, there were a couple characters where if you interacted with them, in particular ways, it would really affect kind of some more things that happened. This was way more across the board in this game, and I liked that. Every single person, there's a reason to be interacting them. There's you can change their lives, and they're going to change your life, and that all kind of accumulates to the last chapter, I think, in a really, really good way. I loved the characters, and
I liked
you're
it a
right.
lot.
The Typhon story was overdone. I think the secret villain twist, I saw that coming since the first episode. That was pretty obvious to me. But I think what that led to, like who it was obvious, but kind of the whole accumulation of it, I didn't see all of that coming.
Two more things. For as open as the game became, like in the design and the environment, I felt like story-wise it was probably the most narrow or linear of all of them. It was very kind of path forward. I
don't have a problem with that. I wouldn't consider that to be a negative.
And then the end with the certain returning characters fit into the story was just really shaky, and I don't know, like to do it all there right at the end, I felt very loose. Like, did you just feel the need to throw something in there? I was like, that doesn't really need to be here at all.
Yeah, I almost wish that chapter 5 was chapter 4 and that we had another chapter afterwards. Yeah. Because there was so much good meaty stuff in chapter 5 that I feel like almost like it happened so fast.
And they just kind of like they get you into it, get you out of it, and that's the end.
Yeah.
And
because like I said, it was my favorite chapter, and I just wish it wasn't just the end like that.
I agree with you there, but I think Life is Strange Before the Storm and 2 I think are more special to me than this one.
Ooh, see, this is competing with 1 for me. I think there's definitely things that I like about it more than 1. Definitely more than 2. But I like that it's more contained than 2 was.
And I liked going back to 2 and thinking about my experience with 2. There were a lot of things that I really liked. I think that game was really hurt by its long drawn out style. I think we'd all sat down and played it. I think it's a really great game, but I like its adventure. It's grand. You go places. It's different. You visit different places, and I really like those, like Cassidy and like the whole middle chapters. I liked so much more of that than I found in this one. And I think that's ultimately what wins me over with 2 over this one. Because in this one, I love Steph and Alex. Can't say that I really love anybody else.
Really?
Yeah.
I fell in love with Riley. Riley was great. Awesome. I love Riley. I think there are just so many good stories. I liked Ducky. What?
Yeah, I'm on chapter 2.
Ooh! Oh my gosh! You should have chimed in. What are you thinking so far?
I like it. I kind of agree with Donnie in terms of like that linear path. I don't know if I'm all the way in on that part of it. So far, I'm enjoying it, but it's not pulling me all the way in yet in terms of the story and stuff like that. I like the characters. I like Stephanie.
I think where you are, I think that makes sense. You're not really to the point where
it's a slow start.
They haven't set the hook for you yet.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say too much about it, because I'm like, I'm still early in the game. Like the scene Donnie mentioned earlier. I think I talked about it before. That scene, I liked it, but I was like, damn, this should have been more. This should have been a playable scene. They should have gave you a choice option here, like, hey,
agency.
Yeah, like, hey, either you can react on this anger that you're feeling, or hold back and be consequences on it in terms of what you do.
With her whole thing of being an empath and like the way that they kind of presented how different this game was going to be, I expected something like that. That's kind of where I thought this was going, especially from that being the first scene. And again, I don't want to reiterate, but I honestly feel like that's the only scene that made me feel like that.
I also wish that they hadn't told us in the marketing and I understand why they had to do this, but I wish that they didn't push in the marketing the plot of the brother dying, like going into that kind of knowing and expecting that. It's like, oh, okay, like that's how that happens. Like we knew it going into that. I think it would have been, a lot more of a shock. And maybe Delvin, I assume Did you know that going into it that he was he was going to die? Yeah, I feel like almost everybody knew that going into it. And maybe if you didn't know that, maybe at the end of episode 1, you would have been like, oh my God, like, what is she going to do now? It might have encouraged you, it might have pulled you in a little bit more. But instead, when that happened,
I could use a little more time with him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him a lot
too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys almost make me want to play this game.
Oh man, Dev.
Don't play it.
Not quite.
I love it.
Every time I hear a game that sounds fun that I want to play, and you go, "This isn't for you, Donnie." Dev, this isn't for you.
I know better, so I'm not going to even jump in. Where you, on the other hand, will go ahead and torture yourself for some reason.
I'll try. I'll try here.
But I loved my experience with it. That's pretty much all I've really been playing. I haven't even gotten a chance to play Deltarune yet, which I've really been looking forward to. Just been so busy. So that'll be next for me.
Awesome. What about you, Donnie? What have you been playing?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. So I didn't hear it quite. 2 games, and I would be very, very quick on them. Omno and Origami 2 are 2 new Game Pass games that I tried out. I was excited about Origami 2 and intrigued with Omno from the trailers. Stay away. They're not good. They're broken. Don't play them. They're bad. For different reasons. Omno is just really, really choppy. There's a really beautiful, fun little puzzler game there. It just runs poorly, like really poorly, as in hard to play poorly. Origami 2 is kind of up your alley, Dev. It's kind of an arcadey version with Ghost of Tsushima type mechanics. You're a samurai. You can it's a stealth game. You can hide in the grass and stuff. The cool thing is it almost like Nightcrawler. You can like poof and traverse across stuff. You can just like teleport onto rooftops and stuff. Problem. It has probably the most egregious screen tearing I've seen in a video game since Spider-Man 2. It is woeful bad. It's everywhere, constantly. For those of you not aware, screen tearings are the pictures don't line up. They're rendered different frame, and they look off, and you literally see visible lines. You see the image tear in the middle of the screen. It happens often. I've seen it horizontal, vertical, just in the first chapter, and I was like, nope. I'll wait. I'll wait for you to patch it and make it better and tell me later. It's a shame. I was really excited about Origami 2, and it's a day 1 game on Game Pass, and hopefully that's not a sign of more things to come from indies. Like, I don't want Game Pass to turn into like early access on Steam. Like, that's not cool. Like, quit. I don't think this is a trend. Most of the games that I play are very polished when they Game Pass. But I do find it strange that both of these games dropped in this state, and they both dropped in this state, around the same time. So, bummer.
Yeah.
Not a bummer.
It does suck.
Is the new game that I'm playing over on PlayStation, which, to be honest with you, this is why I wanted Rebecca to come to the show. Has nothing to do with the Direct tomorrow. The game is called Kana. I've been calling it Kana for half a year. You learn when she pronounces her name in the game. Kana, Bridge of Spirits, the newest exclusive on PlayStation. And woo boy, is Donnie excited and super happy that I'm playing this game. It's everything I ever wanted it to be when they first showed it. It's incredible. If you like Zelda games, it's a must play. It's one of the best versions of those types of games that I've played in many years. And I'm having an absolute blast with it. Now, Dev, I know you are playing it as well. So what about you?
Yeah, I am absolutely loving it. And it almost pains me to say that because you love it. Just want to be the yin and yang. It's nonsense. But yeah, I am probably about 2.5 hours in, and I absolutely love this game. It is gorgeous. The gameplay feels good. The combat is good. There's a progression system so I can actually level up. The puzzle mechanics, the hidden stuff to find, I just love it. It's exactly what I want out of a third person action adventure type of game like this. It's a damn shame that it's only $40. Like, that is a steal.
I'd pay 60 for it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that it's not 60.
Yeah, I think most people that are playing it are.
Yeah, it is really good. It feels really polished. Like, it's surprising almost from this game. The studio's very first game for it to be this polished.
Best day 1 $40 game since the Ratchet remake.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Yeah, Delvin, you're also playing it too, right?
Yeah, I like it a lot. The story's kind of bringing me in. Seeing the world, which looks beautiful on PS5, and I don't know if it seems like it loads super fast, maybe because I haven't
ridiculously fast.
There's no loading. What loading?
Yeah,
exactly.
The fast travel and respawn is like really like
instant.
1.5 seconds.
Yeah,
you get a screen and then it goes right back down.
Yeah, it's super fast. I'm like, wow, it's super cool. It's keeping me intrigued in the game. I like the little rots, finding them and the powers they have, and it's just the.
Let me talk about those because I'm gonna try to entice Rebecca and our listeners a little bit more. So in the game, you play as Kana, who is this I don't know, like forest ninja adventurer. She's a spirit guide. Spirit guide. She has a staff
she's a spirit guide
that can do other stuff like be a bow, like a bow and arrow, and you encounter these creatures called rots, like the rot, and they are
when you're saying spell that I don't
R-O-T. Rot.
Okay.
They are these cute little chubby Pikmin type things that are black, and they are used in puzzling like Pikmin. This is like Zelda Cross Pikmin, the game.
Do they die as tragically as Pikmin? Okay, then I can play it. You just get to
collect them. They just follow you around and do cute stuff.
Okay.
So like if you jump in the water,
they dance.
They'll jump in the water. They'll like some of them will swim upside down. Other ones will like do front flips, and like they're just kind of always around as you walk around the world.
Hats on them.
Yes, you can dress them up, cosmetics.
Ooh, I like that.
And they help you, like you can send them to fetch items or move statues or blocks, and think of like all the Zelda things that you would do, flip switches, open doors. Like you can send them, you can command them to do these things for you.
Sounds like Pikmin.
It's like Pikmin meets Zelda the game. In a very DreamWorks
Smash stuff.
DreamWorks Pixar style. It's a beautiful game to look at. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it seems to be running very, very smoothly on PlayStation 5. On PlayStation 4, there are a lot of issues that I've seen being reported. A lot of frame drops. There's a game-breaking bug that I think they put out a patch for. Yeah, so if you can play it, lag. Yeah, you can play it on PS5. Play it on PS5. So I wrote down. Let's see here. I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about. I know we have a question, so let's start with that. Yarden says, I saw this quote yesterday. Can you please explain it? Kana is a PS2-ass PS2 game in the best possible way. I also have been seeing, I've brought this up. I know Rebecca, she knows this more than anything.
I love the PS2.
I wasn't going to go there. I hate that, like, games will get a narrative at review that, like, seems to, like, reverberate. Like how did all 25 pre-release people all come to the same conclusion? I find it's like really hard to believe, strange, right?
Like everybody saying that it sounded really weird.
I understand the point they're trying to make. I do take some offense with comparing this game to a PS2 game because
do they mean like they don't mean the graphics?
No. I think what I've seen
gameplay loop and what it does, like it feels like a platformer in a way from the PS2 era, but it doesn't. To me, it feels like a perfected platform. It still feels like a PS5, PS4 era game.
It's still much more modern. What I took from it, and I'm going to offer a little bit of different description, keeping true to the same thing. But what I took from the tweets and stuff that I saw calling it that is like everybody kept pointing to like mascot platformers, things like Jak and Daxter, Spyro, Crash. This game isn't like those at all. So if I can offer you, I would offer up Okami, Darksiders 2, Star Fox Adventures, or before the reboot, Tomb Raider.
That's what I was
think
thinking.
This game.
Yes, a lot of it feels like Tomb Raider to me.
A lot of it feels like Tomb Raider. It's like Tomb Raider in an arc in a cartoony style. There is a lot of Twilight Princess and Wind Wakery things here, with the exception that there is no giant open hub that you explore. Everything is pretty much a linear path, but from like the little temples that you do, the little puzzles that you have to do, the traversal is very Twilight Princess-y in that regard. Not as big, as grand, but there are some. I wrote down
Uncharted. The climbing.
You're not wrong. I wrote down a couple because I didn't want to just say a bunch of good things about it. I do have some issues. They're not really hampering my enjoyment of the game at all. I love this game. But just to say it, I wish the rot had more to do in the gameplay. Like I wish maybe collecting them boosted your power or something more, or if like maybe decorating them in certain hats or certain combinations of hats or something gave you some sort of effects. It doesn't seem like any of that does it. And I'm the type of person, being the Zelda fan that I am, that I'm collecting them all. I have so many of them. There's like a pile walking behind me. And I just wish I had something more to show for that.
How many do you have right now?
I wish I had wrote it down. I don't know. I'm in the fields now. I think I've got at least 45 or so.
Dang,
I'm almost at 50, I think. I think I'm almost at 50.
I'm making my way up to whatever's HUD or whatnot. I only have like 18.
Risu?
But it's still like, it's a lot of.
That's about right.
There.
Yeah, that's about right.
Are they mandatory? Like you have to get each one as you go?
No. You will get them.
But if you want to level
naturally,
up, you have to collect them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you will get them naturally, but there are a bunch of hidden ones, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute.
And there's like perks for getting more of them?
No.
It helps. There's no perks for getting more, but in order to collect more of them, it ups your power to unlock.
Yeah, you level up more skills, but you don't get the skills for doing it.
Got it.
Yeah. So you get this bow with a staff. That's really cool. I really like it a lot. You do get to use it in combat. However, later in the game, you get to use it as a grapple hook. So you line up an arrow and you release it, and then you zip off to the place.
Shot.
We've seen this before.
The PS5 have like the precision motion for the bow, like where you can just tilt the controller and then the bow goes?
I don't think it has motion controls, but it definitely has the tension. It has the tension on the triggers. You'll feel it.
I hate aiming with the stick. Breath of the Wild has spoiled me.
So I love this bow. Yeah, I knew you were. I love this bow. I wish you could use the grapple mechanic of the bow in combat. I think it's a big miss opportunity, especially now that I've seen a few bosses later on. There's a part of me that's like, I wish I could zip around the level or zip to the enemy or zip across or something. Just add a little bit more to my repertoire. Obviously, I love Wind Waker. It's one of my favorite games, and using their little grapple hook in combat is awesome. And I don't think it's been replicated since Wind Waker. We've seen grapple bows, like Tomb Raider has a grapple bow. I think Fortnite has a grapple. Like there's lots of games that have like a bow that you can shoot and do something with, but not in combat. And I think it would have been really fun in this game.
If you have a dash and a dodge, I don't feel the need to.
I'm interested to hear how you feel about that in a little bit later on in the game. Which, speaking of that, the game is very tough in spikes. And the reason that I bring that up is not because I don't like games that are difficult. I think the way that this game has been marketed and presented, especially with this cartoony, adventure-ish like whimsy, I think a lot of people that are interested in buying or playing this game are not going to like the difficulty spikes in the bosses. I think that's going to be not what they're there for. And I think that's an interesting balancing act that they're going to have to run with, because I could see a lot of people like me the first time I saw it that said, oh my God, Zelda game, I want to play it. And then you get in there and there's like this Dark Souls boss beats your ass for 30 minutes like it did me last night. I spent there for 40 minutes trying to beat this boss. It's like, it is killing me. I almost
that doesn't motivate me to play it.
I did it. You can play it on easy.
Baby ass baby mode.
You can play it on easy and get through it. I haven't. I'm stubborn. I'm trying to live up to Dev's standard. I'm stubborn, so I was like, I'm not going to drop it down. I can do this. I was looking up strategies.
Were you playing on normal or hard?
I'm playing on normal. It's so hard.
Oh no.
I was looking up strategies on YouTube, and there are bunches of different ways that people beat this boss. And like, I came across this one dude who just has perfect parry timing and perfect dodge the entire time. So he didn't even use his abilities. Looks like Goku out there, just swinging, missing everything, beating the crap out of this guy. I tried to do it and got wrecked. Just absolutely wrecked. But I did get through. It took me 45 minutes. I'm not lying. That's not an exaggeration. I looked at the time from the first Discord message that I posted to when I posted I'm through. It took me 45 minutes. That's all I was doing for those 40.
Perfect.
It was so hard. And I fought another boss after it that wasn't as hard, but like it just spikes. It goes from like a very, very at times challenging but very doable game to, oh my God, this is pounding me in the face hard right now. But you can flip the difficulty at any level. So if you're struggling, you just want to get through, drop to easy. I think on easy you get more courage automatically and your health replenishes automatically. which is the other thing that I brought up that I actually do think is a knock on this game, is the balance. So as you do melee combat, you earn courage, and courage can be stored as power shots. So you can basically use powered abilities. You only have so many of them. I think it's a big mistake that this game ties healing to those same power shots. You cannot heal without using one of those slots. You also cannot heal.
A while to figure that out.
You also cannot heal wherever you want. You have to be in specific areas that let you heal. So it's when you're fighting those bigger bosses, that is debilitating if you're not very good. Like, it's hard to do. Another thing that really made me angry is in this big boss that I was fighting, I walked into that fight with 3 power shots, and then when I started the fight, had 0. It basically baseline. I didn't carry any of my progress into the boss fight. I didn't like that either. So
every time you walk into a combat zone like that, it takes them away, and you have to rebuild them.
Yep. And with this boss in particular, he moves really fast. He has very wide reaching, and he's very quick. It's hard to dodge. Maybe you won't have but I looked at enough. I wasn't the only I'm not the only person having issues. I know a reviewer that I talked to offline, and I was talking to him about it, and I was like, dude, F that. He was like, it's so hard.
Yeah, like, I read a lot of that, heard a lot of people saying that, like, the difficulty, especially with the bosses, just kind of spikes. Like, it's just, you're playing this happy game, and then all of a sudden you get to a boss, and it's like Dark Souls.
It is
on 100. Like, what the heck? Like, this is not. It just feels really unbalanced that way.
I was imagining that it would be.
Story mode.
Yep, story mode.
Yeah, story mode.
Now you can change back and forth in the middle of the game. You don't have to just stick with it.
Yep. Okay. And checkpoints are very plenty, saves are very plenty, so it's a very forgiving game in that regard. Going back to the PS2 stuff, though, to answer Yarden, I think what it is that the game is very linear. It's an old school design. Basically, all the action adventure games that we know and love from the 90s have all been turned into open world games. And this isn't an open world game. It's a linear game like Darksiders. You have little hubs that you can explore. You know, like, think of it. It's not even as big as like Skyward Sword, but like that. You have these little hubs that you can explore. The cool thing, though, and the thing that I think puts that PS2 concept to shame is if you're exploring for secrets, like I know somebody like Rebecca would, like I do, the game is very deep. You may be in a little hub, but there's a lot of area above you, below you, behind the stuff, over there. Like, you weren't getting a lot of that stuff in those PS2 games.
You know, it's funny because I like that. I like that in certain games, but other games, like, I don't know, I'll just like skip almost all of it. It depends for me. There's no rhyme or reason to it either. I love those secrets. I want all the chests. I want all the rots. Like, I like exploring all the things. I'm going to climb on every rock, on every waterfall. And there have been multiple times where I've stood back and looked like down or up and been like, I was way over there a few minutes ago. Now look at me. Like, I'm all the way over here now. Like, those, I don't remember having those types of moments with some of the mascot platformers that people were talking about. Like, even like Jack and Daxter, which is pretty open. Not the same.
Yeah. Especially with this one, when you can look to a certain place and be like, I think I can get over there. Where in a PS2 era game, you weren't doing that at all. Like, everything was presented right there in front of you. Where with this one, it's like you walk into a space and you see all of these different little nooks and crannies that you can get to in some place far off in the distance. That once you get there, you look down and you're like, oh, I used to be over there. And then you can just warp right over there, which is also really nice. But yeah, I'm with you, Donnie. I'm definitely like looking for all the different secrets, trying to find all the stuff, mainly because it's my quest for power. Like, I want to find all the stuff so I can just roll into things OP if possible. So I'm doing it that way. And I like how the controller, when you're close to a rot, will vibrate. Yeah. And it'll vibrate in a certain direction, like where you'll feel it in the controller, like, oh, this is down to the right. So let me turn around and go this way. And the closer you get, it starts getting like towards the center, so you know that you're getting closer to the
They have little Zelda musical cues for those as well. And sometimes the controller will pulse with the music, which is really cool. I don't think I've noticed that in a PlayStation 5 game yet, where I feel like it's not rumbling, it's not shaking to the point where I feel it. It's just a little pulse, like on the beat in time. You just feel like a little and I'm like, that is so cool. Like, that's some feedback that I actually think is really cool. It has nothing to do with the game I'm playing. I think it's neat in terms of keeping you in the game. It's letting you kind of feel the rhythm.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. The controller in this game feels really cool. It's what they're doing with it, and it's subtle. Like, you don't even really think about it until you start to realize it. You're like, oh,
If you turned it off, you'd miss it. But when it's on, you're not really paying attention to it. Mm-hmm. But if you turned it off, you'd miss it. And like there are some invisible walls and stuff like that. And I haven't dove into the reviews, but I have seen a lot of people share their reactions of the reviews in our Discord and on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And if those are what the mainstream folks are saying about this game, like I'm kind of concerned, because I would love nothing more than games exactly like this to return. I will give you $60 for a game like this 5 times a year and not think about it. Happily. I've said this a bunch. I don't like that every adventure narrative game has turned into a 60-hour plus open world thing with padded galore. Like, give me this. Put me in a direction. Tell me a story. Mm-hmm. Like, this feels so good being there. And I saw people, they're like, you can beat it in 7 hours. Like, great.
That's awesome. I was just saying earlier today to somebody that honestly, like the 6 to 10 hour range is the sweet spot for me lately.
That's exactly what this game is.
Like, I felt like Life is Strange when I finished that. It didn't overstay its welcome. Like, it wrapped up. It was.
Yep.
Didn't take me so long to play it. It was perfect.
And also to evoke those older games.
Bird for me.
Yeah.
Good games.
To evoke those old games and compare it to this completely dismisses just how beautiful this game is. The production value that they brought to this game is next level. It's not good. It's not good for an indie game. It's good for a console exclusive. It's good for the best studio that you could think of. Like, the visual quality for this game would be good for Naughty Dog. It'd be good for the Coalition. It'd be good for Insomniac. Like, it's that good.
It sounds like the comparisons to PS2 though weren't a bad thing though. It said in the best possible way, like it took the good aspects of PS2 games. Like
I'm more or less paraphrasing
that particular quote. Yeah, it doesn't. Sound
I saw
like it was
a lot
negative.
of people that said like it's cool, but it's old. It feels old. It doesn't do new stuff. I've been seeing a lot of that.
It's like what. So it's like, why does it have to be more than that? That's the other thing that drove me nuts when I kept seeing the PS2 stuff. Like,
that was a trend that I started to see.
It's a great game, and for you to try to pigeonhole it into this is a PS2 era game, it's like
PS2 era was awesome. That's not an insult.
Anything like this is a PS2 era game. Then it's just we've been iterating on it, and this actually does not feel like a PS2 game. It feels like a perfected version of that type of game. Like, it feels like a natural progression of the mascot platform. But again, like, you look at it, it feels and looks a lot more like an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider or a Breath of the Wild. Like, it's massive in its scope in that way. And the fact that the world is so polished, like, that's the other thing. Like, the actual polish on this game is incredible. From
leaves,
just the way it looks, the way
wind, the fabrics move,
music, everything.
The chimes move. Like, yeah, everything is flowing together. It looks like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really like it. Like I said, I was a little concerned because this was a weird review embargo. Reviews went live when the game launched.
Yeah.
And for a console exclusive from PlayStation, especially, they just had a state of play where they didn't even mention it. They haven't talked about this game in like 2 months. Not at all. It was so bizarre.
I knew about this game, but I didn't know when it was releasing, and I feel like all of a sudden it was just, okay, it's out.
They were really tight with who got reviews. I think for the first 24 hours, only like 25 critics even got a review copy. And I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't sound
Usually
like it's
that's not
well.
a good sign.
And then I started playing it, and 2 hours into the game, I was like, it's better than I expected. Like, it's everything I was hoping for when I first saw it, and then some. I did see one tweet, so I won't take credit for it, but one of the folks that I retweeted, they said this game did more for Zelda's anniversary than Nintendo did, and I think they're right. Like, I'm really loving it. It's
great.
This is I said it in our Discord, I'll say it again. This is like my gaming comfort food. Like, and that's a reason why I'm probably so high on it. This is my game. Like, this is the type of games that I grew up on. These are the types of games that I love to play. If you guys watch me, I basically played hooky yesterday from work and tried to get in as many hours as I could. And I played till like 2 in the morning. This is one of those games that I will sit down and play and won't stop playing. I'll just keep playing it until it's done. I'll just keep playing it because everything about this game, like, go find that rock. Go look behind that wall. Like, can I get over there? I saw a chest over there. I heard that chime. Where's that coming from? That's totally my jam. The rot, crazy. Rebecca, they're so much like Kuroks. Like, when you get their little animations, they're hidden under rocks. They're in boxes.
Little jingle.
A little jingle. They pop up. They get these big,
little staff.
Big baby eyes.
Oh, it sounds like that was the inspiration for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the one place Donnie and Dev actually kind of like align, because this is also the type of game that I really enjoy. It's like my comfort food too, and I'm playing it pretty much the same way Donnie is playing it, which is just so odd.
We've been right there with Death's Door and now this one. I don't think this would supplant Death's Door for my game of the year, but it's on the list. It's on the short list.
I don't think so either, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I haven't played enough of it, but it's right there with it.
Yeah,
it's right there with it. God, Death's Door.
This probably does pass. Like, I think this year I've been Death's Door, The Medium. I feel like there's another one I'm not remembering, but this one definitely slides in probably behind Death's Door and over The Medium, kind of on my short list so far.
It's Death's Door and Axiom Verge have probably been my favorite games this year, and this is right there with them. Nice. Super Nintendo all over again. It feels like it's ridiculous. Delvin, do you have anything to add? I mean, I know you're playing this game as well, so.
I think y'all said it all about this game in general.
Sorry, when I really like a game, I'm gonna keep
playing.
Going.
Shoot, what am I playing? I keep mixing up the name with this game and the movie.
Deathloop.
I keep mixing up.
Not Death Proof.
Yeah, exactly. Even though they have the same aesthetic.
Now, Death Proof, like the game, would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. But yeah, I'm still playing Deathloop. I love it, man. This game is awesome. I love the way you can just kind of go out in the world. They say just kind of have fun. Like, you can pick out these certain times where you know your target's going to be at. And yeah, they say you have like a 24-hour period to kill them all, but it's kind of loose with it. Like, you can kind of jump from, you can go do this hit in morning, you can go do this hit in the afternoon. And I like that about the game. It's just so cool. And I like that there's so many different ways you can kill a target. Without getting into spoilers of it, like and this got me mad because I played it like a couple days ago. I played it overnight and I killed this target. And then the next day I went to work and stuff. And when I came home, I guess there was a power surge. And when I turned back on the game, it was like I didn't kill the target. I'm like, damn it.
Oh,
so I had to kill the target again. But I was fine with it because it was so fun figuring out how to kill the target.
Xbox Quick Resume. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Keeps your state. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had
a good UPS, battery backup.
Wow.
Yeah. That's not happening.
That's his answer to quick response.
Just
get a UPS.
Pimp out your station.
Yeah. So yeah, it was cool because even after that happened, I was like, well, let me see if there's another way I can kill this same person. I don't want to say who it is, but one of the ways I did it was I was in a room. The person was giving a speech. I was waiting for her to finish the speech off, and then I just got tired. Like, screw this! I'm just gonna kill everybody in the room. And then I just started running off, shooting everybody in the room. The person put up a force field, and he was stuck in his room, so I couldn't get to him. So I messed around and threw a grenade in there, blew him up, but then I couldn't figure out how to get in the room. I'm like, dang it, I need to get in the room to get what I need to get from it. It was like, yeah, this is cool. So I'm like, yeah, I might need to figure out another way to do this whole thing. And it's just cool that there's so many options.
Find out a way to redo this whole thing I've already done.
Yes.
Sounds awesome.
It's fun because it's
Donnie's favorite genre.
Right?
Yes. I don't think this is the Donnie game, but I like the fact that you can.
Then you get better each time, and then you learn how to do it.
Yeah, but it's like Dishonored.
Like getting your ass beat by the boss.
Yeah.
For 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's accurate. I think it's kind of like...
I didn't finally beat him, and then the game was like, well, try it again.
It's like Dishonored in terms of how you can find multiple ways to kill a target in Dishonored.
Yeah.
But Deathloop is cool in terms of you can find multiple ways to kill a target, and it may work out, it may not work out. Once you finish the loop of that character, you kind of finish with that arc of it, and you keep moving forward. And it's just so fun playing it like that. And I wouldn't even go this far, which I don't like playing with people. It's even fun when somebody invades your game and tries to kill you.
You turn that on?
Yeah, I leave it on.
Oh my God.
But I don't know what this mode is. What are you talking about?
Okay, one of the hooks to the game is once you get into the open world, there's this other assassin named Juliana who can randomly pop up in your game and try to kill you and reset the loop.
Oh. Like
And
before the loop is supposed to be over?
Actual person.
Yes.
Before you finish it.
Oh.
And then somebody can be somebody on your friends list or just some random person on the internet.
It's just asshole mode.
So you can go onto somebody else's game and do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool. If you kill Juliana, you get like a little boost, or you get like a trinket or something that gives you like powers and things like that. And if they kill you, you just lose all your weapons, have to start the loop again.
What's in it for the person playing as Juliana? Do you get something for
You get the
doing
trinket, the cool trinket.
Well, let me explain what a trinket is, because Donnie makes it like it's just, hey, here's a...
I didn't make it sound like anything. You said if you kill Gianna, you get a trinket.
That's what it's called. It's called a trinket. And they give you like special powers and things like that, like kind of like Dishonored. The same thing as Dishonored. You kind of
like the bone charms and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Or whatnot
I still listen to Rebel FM, and Arthur was like, "It's Dishonored, like the Rogue game." And I know that it's not exactly like a Rogue, but he was like, "It's Dishonored, the Rogue game." He's like, "That's basically what this is."
It literally is that. That's the best way to describe it. And it's fun. I like the characters. I like the storytelling in the game in terms of how you have these words that'll pop up on the screen in certain areas and telling you about certain things that's going to happen or could happen, and you can follow those words. You can go right and actually do what you want to do. It's kind of meta in that way, and it's fun just to experience that. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into the online part and hopefully one day invade your game. And
when you get to the online part, I would just cut it off.
Target you specifically.
He just pulls the plug. It's just
Right.
nope.
It'd be amazing
Like
if
a
you did
power
that. Like,
Coming from the wire.
if you did it right in
coming.
time, like Dev's got him, he walks right up to him, and he's like, "Up," and you're done.
Aww.
Terrible.
You should get an achievement for that. That'd be awesome.
You should. I mean, that wouldn't be bad.
Also, Colt is
Or a
one of my
trophy,
favorite
'cause we
characters in
don't do
video
achievements.
games this year, by the way.
Oh god, this cult
Colt.
stuff.
He's awesome.
Who's cool?
He is the main character in the
He's
game.
like the
To
character.
catch you up, Rebecca, the main character in this game called Deathloop that runs around and kills everybody, Delvin thinks that he is that.
Pretty much.
He
Yeah.
identifies strongly with this
Very
man.
strong. A little too
Yes.
strong.
Handsome black
A
man.
little too
Should we be
strong. Yeah, see,
concerned?
you're handsome black man,
Like me.
cool,
Cool, like
you know,
me. You're not
Just like
wrong.
Delvin.
just 70s cool.
Yeah. You're not
Murder
wrong.
Do I
machine.
need to look him up now.
Yeah.
Delvin Cox,
Colt?
our own. Yeah.
Deathloop.
Yeah.
Witty.
Yeah. It's not Delvin at all. It's what Delvin wishes he was.
No.
Oh, okay. I see him.
See?
Yeah.
She says she sees him, not you.
No,
she said she
I
saw
am witty.
He has a little bit more hair.
Yes. That's life. When Colt gets to my age, he'll lose all his hair too.
It was
I
young
like
Delvin.
him. I like him.
Yes. Young Delvin when he had hair.
I'm
Young
your
Delvin.
age, and I still have my hair, so I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
don't count.
How do I not count?
You got some weird gene like an X-Men or something like that.
Like an X-Man.
I've got the X gene that gives me my
We've
hair.
got Cyclops, Rogue, Wolverine, and Afro-Dev.
And Dev, his ability to grow hair.
Hairman.
Yeah. Just
I've
grow
got the
hair.
X gene that just- I can grow hair.
Worst
It's great.
superpower ever.
Yes, just grow
Right?
hair.
Can't control it. Can't make it do
No.
anything. It just
No.
grows.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
amazing.
Wolverine has that power.
That's
He probably
amazing.
does.
All right. Let's jump into this news we have here. All right, so we're going to start with this story for Respawn. I guess they've spoken out about the possibility of another Titanfall game. In a recent live stream with community coordinator Jason Garza, I guess they told fans not to get their hopes up about another entry anytime soon.
Pretty
Since
definitive,
before-
right? There's nothing.
Yeah, pretty definitive. It makes me very sad. We don't have anything in the works. There's nothing. Nothing there, man. We've got too many other games in the works right now.
AKA, you should have bought it when it was out. Stop asking.
It just makes me so sad because Titanfall is so good.
Titanfall
Titanfall
2
was just a
Titanfall 2
gem.
is so good.
God, it was so good. I
If
love that
Titanfall
game.
2 was Titanfall 1, then we would probably have Titanfall 2 and 3 by now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like Titanfall.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
nothing against that. Just
you played that? It's an online only game.
It launched that, more Delvin? Complete with Titanfall.
I played a lot of Titanfall. When
really,
I bought my Xbox One with a Titanfall bundle, so that was the first game I played for it.
I don't even know you right now. This sounds like absolute nonsense. You don't play online.
I like Titanfall. I like running around with the robots. You know I like Transformers, so you say, hey, you can control a giant robot.
Yeah, but it's online. This must have been young Delvin with hair. This must have been a different game.
Well, oh no, I started something.
Well, I did have hair.
This is our new French toast.
The new, frame of reference.
Yo, cousin Cecil, you know what to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
You've got your marching orders.
Make it happen.
A bunch of pictures with me with hair and playing Titanfall with an afro.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, this is a shame that they're not working on that. But I mean, they do have a lot going on. I probably would rather see another Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order before Titanfall.
No, just
because I'm in that mood right now. But that's just me. But Titanfall 2 is great.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna replay that. I wish it needs a PS5 patch.
Needs a boost.
Yeah. I know you guys have that boost over there, but it only doesn't it like the resolution doesn't go any higher though?
I don't know Titanfall. That's not all games. Some games get boosted and they look better and they run better. And it's actually, I don't want to say some, most games. Most games when they get the boost, it's better. Some games get the boost in frames and they get a drop in resolution or vice versa. But they're very rare, but it does happen. And unfortunately for me, it seems to happen more with the games that I want. Like, I think Fallout got a boost in frames and a dip in resolution. Far Cry got a boost in frames, and the resolution is so bad, I was like, turn it off. I'd rather play it at 30. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag.
This is why I haven't gone back to Far Cry 5, because I want to play it in 60.
I want them to redo, like, just re-release it. I'll buy it again. I'm so excited.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Next story. Quantic Dream could be working on a Star Wars game. This is problematic for a lot of people, apparently. Numerous outlets, VGC, Polygon, Kotaku, The Escapists, have all published stories this week that the studio has been working on the project for about 18 months, and that it will be a more traditional action game versus the games Quantic Dream has released during its its last couple of games. So it won't be like a Detroit or Beyond Two Souls. None of that. It'll actually be an action game, which is weird because that is a drastic departure for them, because I feel like every game they've ever made has all been in that kind of quick time event type of game. I mean, going all the way back to what was it, Fahrenheit? It's always been quick time event type game. So to see them make an action game is really interesting. Also, to give them the Star Wars licenses and not to do one of their type of games, to me, I find kind of odd.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I have a lot of thoughts because I am a Quantic Dream fan, unfortunately. and it's like, it's a catch-22 because being a Quantic Dream fan in general is a catch-22 because by all means, they are a terrible company. They have a bad track record of things they do and things like that. But I liked Heavy Rain. I liked Beyond Two Souls. I liked Detroit Become Human. Those were my games. I love those.
Detroit. I didn't like the other ones, but I like Detroit.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, and when I heard Star Wars game made by Quantic Dream, I'm like, oh, that could be awesome. But they were like, no, it's not really what we do. We're going to make this game. Yeah, I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing this for? Your game's not known for your gameplay.
They got to pay the bills, man.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but you would think that like their games speak for themselves. Like while the studio and David Cage has all these issues, like their games have never been
a quality developer.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think because they're a quality developer, I give them some benefit of the doubt. And if they want to make a traditional action game, I think they can.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what I go to Quantic Dream for. I go to them for their engrossing stories.
But that's why they got Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't care if you come to them for them or not. They're like, you're here for Star Wars.
The thing about that is we already have a George. In terms of, we already got these Star Wars games that have like, how many we got now coming out?
We got so much Star Wars.
That's what I was going to bring.
Doing the same thing.
We've got the Jedi sequel coming. We're going to get another Battlefront. And they're going to do that. There's a rumor floating around for a while now that the Coalition or somebody in Xbox is doing a Star Wars game. I think Coalition's been tied to it most by Jeff.
Yes.
I don't know if that I don't know if that's ever been real, but it's been rumored enough that I think it's worth bringing up. Quantic Dream is apparently working on one. Machine Games is working on indie. Like Lucas and Disney are just all about it. They're like, here are all of our licenses. Like I'm not gonna be surprised at all if there's a Mandalorian thing that pops up, and it's. I personally, and I've said this a bunch. I personally would rather them make their own game, like make your own IP. Like we don't have a lack of Star Wars or superhero games. Like here, we've got enough of
Star
those.
Wars sells.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it does, but so does.
But if there's 9 of
like,
them, do
That's
they
my
all
problem.
sell? Do they all keep selling?
right.
That's my problem. It's 9 of them. They're all going to be almost virtually the same type of game. Like either you're
Or a remake.
Either it's a remake or you're a Jedi doing Jedi things, or it's a first-person shooter. Quantic Dream would, at least to me, until they said what they said, sounded like it could have been a story-heavy Star Wars game, like which I would think would be cool. Yeah. But if they're just gonna make another type of action Star Wars game, like what do I need?
What if it was like a Han Solo, a Quantic Dream story?
See, that I'd be down for.
That would be cool.
I'm not that into Star Wars, and that sounds awesome. Actually,
it's
yeah.
We're getting all these damn Star Wars games.
13 game. Let's go. Let's go to
we can't get a Rogue Squadron, like a real Rogue Squadron game.
You would think we would have had something like that by now.
Yeah.
We got this Starfighter or whatever, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a real campaign, outfit your ship, dogfighting Star Wars game like we used to have.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll make that eventually. Somebody's going to end up doing it. They'll
remake them. Those were awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to buy a remaster collection of those. That'd be great.
Yeah. But it's just like what you and Justin were talking about, how everything's a damn Marvel movie. We're starting to get to this where everything is a damn Star Wars game, and it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
If it's not Marvel, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I
There's
don't.
so
I want,
many
I want
of them now.
new IP.
There was an article this week. You just jogged my memory. There was an article this week about how, and I don't think this is new. I think it was on GameIndustry.biz. But apparently a lot of the big mega corporations are really centering and zeroing in on the games division as the next market for consolidation. We've seen a giant consolidation with music rights and licensing, and basically Amazon, Google, and Spotify have basically bought everything and they own that business. And then the movies, you're seeing the same thing, like with Disney and Sony and Netflix, and it's everything. They're all consolidating into these things, and they're all looking at video games, especially after its strong performance during the pandemic. They're like, that's the next one. Let's all just get as many of them as we can, and we'll give them licenses to work on, and we're going to make, forecasted profits, like things that you can bank on, and it's not as risky. And that's the problem with the new IPs.
We already have that problem with video games. Everything is a damn sequel. That's why games like Kana or Deathloop are so good, because it's something new. It's a new IP. Like, I'm so much more interested in a new IP than playing part 2 or part 3 of something else.
That's how I feel about movies these days too. You were saying about movies, same way. Just come up with something new. I don't want to see just sequel after live action remake of the same stuff.
And then once you get sequel and live action remake, then you get the reboot of the thing.
You reboot it.
Like, I don't need that.
Let's do it again. It's a retelling. We're doing the same thing. Let's do it again.
It's just
yeah, but I say it all the time. We ask for these things, but people have to support it. You got to go out there and buy it. You can't just say, "Oh, well, we want the new thing," but when the new thing comes out, nobody supports it.
Yeah.
Everybody goes and supports the reboots and the remakes and part 2, part 3, part 4 of something, even if it's trash. A lot of these movies that are garbage have sequels and keep getting sequels because people go out and see them. So they're successful.
I blame The Rock. I blame The Rock for all of it. Just because.
Yeah.
We don't need any more Fast and Furious movies. I'm sorry. We just don't.
Yeah.
We don't need another Jungle Cruise. We don't need any of that. Let's do something.
We didn't need the first Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. They're already greenlit for a sequel. I don't need that. No. Let's do something new. Let's get that big summer blockbuster again, right, Donnie? Let's
if you haven't listened to DLC,
something that I haven't seen already 47 Good times.
Not only do you get early access to PSVG in your DLC, you get Dollar Cinema, which is a movie podcast. You get Strong Style, which is a wrestling podcast. You also get DLC, which is a monthly little thing that I do with a select group of crew. We do a bunch of different stuff. I just released an episode with Justin where we talked about this. We talked about movies, and it's like, you know what I did after that? The next day, I watched Interstellar again.
And I love Interstellar.
Because
that's like
he
my
reminded me,
movie.
We were talking about Christopher Nolan, and I was just like, I would kill for anything like this right now. Like just anything remotely close that looked like it could possibly be as good as Interstellar.
That's like my second favorite movie of all time.
I did not like Tenet.
I haven't seen it.
That seems to be the popular opinion.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
You didn't?
No, I didn't like it.
That was the last summer blockbuster that didn't say Star Wars or Marvel in the Metacritic list. So I think that movie came out in like 2014, Interstellar.
Yeah.
I was mind blown.
So
I went to big blockbuster movies. Metacritic had like a list of 150 of them. I sorted them by date that they released, and I had to go to 2014 to find a movie that didn't say Marvel or Star Wars in front of it. And I was just like, we're doomed.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Disney, you're killing us. You're killing us slowly. What did you like about Tenet, Delvin? Damn it! Now I really want to watch it. I bet I'm
another podcast, gentlemen.
Yeah, I say watch it and give me your opinion. I'm quite sure it's free somewhere now. It has to be.
It's on HBO Plus, isn't it?
Yeah,
HBO Max.
One of them, something like that. Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Moving along. Yeah. So Halo, the beta. Yeah, we're getting 2 weekends of Halo. Nothing with campaign, just more multiplayer for the people who like multiplayer.
I can wait.
Nobody here but me, apparently.
Yep.
So the first weekend we get the Arena 4v4 multiplayer from the 24th to the 26th. And then the second weekend is going to be Big Team Battle from October 1st to 3rd. I'm in the beta, so I'll definitely jump in there and play it. Maybe jump in there with Sean Capri, his Halo Saturdays, and check that out. Are any of you gonna even bother?
I saw him tweeting and hyping it up. I saw Jason tweeting and hyping up. Like, everybody's excited. They're all ready to play Halo. I'm not going to play Halo. I have the beta. I was in the beta. I don't want to play it anymore. Let me ask you something, Dev. If you're in early access to a multiplayer game, do you ever reach a point where you're like, I don't need to play this anymore? Like, if you played Halo every weekend or every other week until December when it finally releases, like, are you just going to keep playing it, or like, have you played it by then? Like, can you wear out your welcome, I guess is what I'm asking.
If you're into those kind of games, quite honestly, no.
Because
you get to see the progression of it. You're going to keep playing it because even when the game finally releases, there's going to be stuff that wasn't in the alpha, the beta, the early access. There's going to be certain perfected stuff. There's going to be weapons. There's going to be the meta weapons and stuff like that. So it definitely is one of those things where it's just like the reiteration. It's almost like a new season. So if you're playing Warzone, every couple of months is a new season. So this could almost be treated like that. Like you get these betas, the alphas, and now you get this new season, which is the launch of the game. So I don't think if you're into that, you're ever really going to like wear out its welcome or get tired of it because you're here for that type of stuff. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm personally way more interested in the campaign. I don't really care too much about the multiplayer. I just want to jump in and see what everybody's talking about.
The campaign? Does this game even have a campaign, Dev?
I have no idea. I don't even know if 343 knows.
They still haven't said?
No, they showed us a campaign snippet 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
They've yet to show us anything since then at all.
Yes.
There hasn't been one snippet since then. They keep saying that they are. They're like, we've got it. It'll be fine. We'll show it to you when we're ready. But
they have said that there is, though.
Yes, 100%. They're like, we've got it. We've done it. We'll show it to you when it's ready, when we're ready to talk to you about it. But since that E3 2 years ago when they first showed it, that's what pissed everybody off. Everybody said it was awful. I loved it, by the way. I thought it looked great. Since then until now, it has been nothing but multiplayer. Is the only thing they've talked about since that moment is just multiplayer. That and coatings. They did talk about armor for a little bit there. They were like, you can paint Halo black. Your Spartan can be red.
cares?
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Maybe they know that the people who enjoy Halo for the campaign are going to buy it anyway, and they're just trying to lure people in with the multiplayer who might not normally buy it.
I actually think it's the opposite of that, but I think you're right.
Really?
I think the opposite is they know that the people that care about Halo only care about multiplayer, and we will try the campaign whenever they want to talk about it.
Okay, that's fair.
Because quite honestly, the long haul of the game, the future of the game is not the campaign. It's the multiplayer. That's what's going to be around. Most people jump right into the multiplayer and then play the campaign much later.
I am in the small minority of people that only care about the campaign.
So it's like Splatoon, where everybody plays it for the multiplayer, and it's like, yeah, I'll get around to the campaign at some point, maybe.
Exactly.
It's like Call of Duty and all of these other shooters. Nobody plays those campaigns. When
I play every one of those campaigns.
I do as well.
Grand scheme of things, I do too. I play the campaigns. I don't play those multiplayer at all. I'm in the same boat, but in the grand scheme of things, nobody plays the campaigns at all.
That's where their bread is buttered. They know, they know who they're talking to.
They know as long as they get the multiplayer right, the campaign being mad isn't really going to matter as long as the campaign.
Well, see, that's the thing I keep hearing, and that's the thing I've been told forever. But it mattered in Halo 5. In Halo 5, it absolutely mattered.
Oh yeah,
people wasn't the multiplayer bad there too?
No. The thing about Halo 5 that I see, here's the thing that I don't understand about Halo is that everybody says that as long as you get multiplayer right. Everybody that I've ever heard, from the professional journalists and podcasts industry to my Halo friends in the Xbox circles, everybody agrees that Halo 5's multiplayer was amazing, like so good.
Yeah.
But everybody hates on Halo 5 because the story and the campaign were awful.
People hated Halo 5.
That's that game's legacy. When you talk to people about Halo 5 in general, that's what that game is known for having a terrible campaign. So when I hear Halo fans say, as long as you get the multiplayer, like I always push back on it because I'm like, it totally mattered with Halo 5. If Halo 5 had a great campaign, it would have been a huge hit. More people would have got Xboxes.
I think part of the reason is because of the marketing for Halo 5's campaign was so not what the game was.
Oh
that
yeah,
might be true. Super hyped. Part of it.
Sure.
I was so hyped going.
Maybe that's why Xbox is like, if we don't market it, they can't get angry.
Yeah.
Because the marketing campaign for Halo 5 was so good. The podcast that they had for it was so good. But then the game just wasn't at all.
I remember hearing Ryan at IGN, he was so upset with the campaign. I remember when it came out, like I don't remember everything he said about it, but I remember listening to that podcast and he was so let down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it matters. I'll still say that. I think it matters. I think it's going to matter with Battlefield too. I think Battlefield will sell its copies that it sells. I know, and I think it's going to matter. That's the point I'm trying to say. Is I do think there'll be a group of
campaign, which is funny.
There'll be a group of people that don't buy Battlefield because it doesn't have a campaign.
I'm not buying it, and I used to buy it every year.
Yep, same. It's not the majority. You're right.
Who cares?
It's not the majority, but I also don't think it's a negligible minority either. I think it's a bigger chunk than people let on. I realize it's not the biggest, but I don't think it's like 5% of us that play campaign. And people they try to go and they try to get trophies, and they're like, only 5% of people completed the campaign. Most people don't complete games. Like that doesn't bother me at all. But I guarantee you that more than 5% of people buy Call of Duty to play the campaign. I know they do because I know a lot of gamers. I've met them throughout the years. I know a lot of people that just play the campaign. They may not finish it, but they get it to play the campaign.
Yeah.
I know very few people who have actually completed any Call of Duty campaign outside of us here. Most of the people I know are just strictly there for just the multiplayer.
And I agree. Also that's the majority.
My people who just play Madden and COD every year and never touch the campaign. I'm just like, you guys are missing some really, really good stuff, which is so sad. But
Infinite Warfare was awesome.
Said no one ever.
Yeah, we gotta move.
All right. Steam Deck. I guess dev kits are shipping around the world. I'll let you take this one, Donnie.
It's just, here's a long story short, indie devs are getting them, like really small indie devs from like the Descenders and stuff like that. They're all getting dev kits, which I thought was interesting because usually dev kits are usually like, I remember the Switch for the longest time, most people didn't have them. It was like Ubisoft had one and like Capcom had one, like nobody else had one. So like Valve is sending decks basically out to everybody. Like that's what it looks like.
Interesting.
Really small indie devs are getting them, and it looks like it's running great. There's a lot of folks that are like, a lot of indie devs are taking videos and showing videos of their game. They're like, it runs great on Ultra at 60 frames a second. We didn't have to do anything to it. So it's good to know. It's good stuff.
Good to know. Yeah, people who are going to get Steam Decks are probably going to get a really, really nice product. So good on you. Good on you.
Looks like it.
All right. Now the big one, the big topic, Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So like I said, you're going to be able to get Rebecca's pre and post thoughts of the Nintendo Direct, as well as Donnie, who is no longer part of the Shack. You get to get a little insight from him on what he thinks. And we have a question to go along with it. And Kyle just says, rate your expectations for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. I am going to just bow out because I don't have anything to say about it. I have Metroid Dread coming. I don't care about anything else. Personally.
Buy Metroid Dread. Do it. Go buy it. Go pre-order it.
Buy 2 of them.
I have it pre-ordered. I got the stupid edition. I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Got the amiibo.
Perfect. That's all you need.
Yep.
I'm very happy. Very happy.
I'm in the middle. I think we usually do expect a September Direct. It makes sense, kind of outline the rest of what's coming out this year, give a little preview of what's coming out in the beginning of next year, a little surprise here or there. I said this a couple weeks ago on Shack. I don't know what they could announce that, like, really, they said it's going to be 40 minutes of releases for this winter, which could theoretically go up to February, March.
March would
they always tend to go a little bit beyond that with some announcements, so we could get something beyond that as well. Expectations, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of stuff pop up that people are expecting that aren't going to be like your people. Of course, go way too beyond what
that's always
is realistic.
Yeah,
but especially this time, like I'm seeing people say like all these things. It seems, I think probably it's safe to say we'll get the final Smash Fighter.
Yeah.
If we don't get it, it'll be the Game Awards. But I don't know. I don't see why they would wait that long at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of expect
I agree with you. I wrote down a couple notes. You have like 5 or 6 different bullet points that I think could show up tomorrow.
There seems to be a lot of buzz about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The timing seems right for that. I think, wondering what Monolith has been working on. I'm not a Xenoblade fan, but the timing seems right for that with the next game.
Nintendo's fiscal quarter, like Q4, is their winter quarter, and it usually runs from December to March or January to March. So when people say and here's the thing, Kevin brought that up in the Discord earlier when they posted the tweet, says mainly this winter. So Kevin's like, they're not going to show anything beyond January. It's like, that's not true. They do that all the time.
Winter, yeah. Oh yeah, winter counts as March.
For these, what we consider like these main directs, they usually throw in a teaser for something almost.
Oh, totally. Because during E3, they said titles for the remaining 2021, and we got like Breath of the Wild, and we got all this other stuff.
Yep. So I would expect something like that. I wrote down a couple. Xenoblade was on the list because that's been heavily rumored. They've been working on it for a while. I've got one that I want it to be, and then I've got one that I think it could be. So I'll start with the one I think it could be. They could show the next Fire Emblem game, and maybe it's next year. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I would be excited by that, and I think it's possible. I also do think they could show Bayonetta tomorrow, and it could be for next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I know a lot of people would fight back, and they'd say they're going to save it for the Game Awards. I think that could be true. They originally showed the game at the Game Awards. However, the Game Awards has become a really big deal. It's like the biggest gaming marketing event of the year. It's bigger than E3 at this point. We're seeing consoles and shit be announced at E3. So I do think that they might be saving something that's bigger than Bayonetta for the Game Awards. They may want, and I'm just saying this if there is a Mario Kart sequel, in the works, if they have a new mainline Mario game, it would probably make more sense to put that on the biggest stage and reach more people than Bayonetta.
I also think for the Game Awards, they kind of value showing something new. I know that a reveal of Bayonetta would technically be new, but we know it's coming. It's not really like oh my God, this exists type of factor that you want to have at the Game Awards.
Yep.
So yeah, I think if it was going to be at one of the two, I would say it would be at this.
In terms of big news, those would be the 3 that I would push on. Who do you think the Smash character is going to be?
Well, it's their last one. I don't know. I feel like I haven't cared about any of them. I'm not going to boot up the game for whoever this is.
Same. I want it to be Axel or Blaze or Master Chief. Streets of Rage.
Waluigi.
Well, okay, so I've been saying they ended the first pack on a first-party game or first-party character.
Yeah.
I've been joking to people, but not so joking that like I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they actually did Waluigi.
That'd be
I don't know. I think it has to be a showstopper. It has to be like someone that's going to be memorable. Obviously, you're going to have tons of people disappointed no matter who it is.
I'm scared it's going to be Crash, and I'm going to be disappointed.
That just would be so awkward timing right now.
I swear to you, like, I feel like... So I want it to be Chief. I think Chief with Halo drop and everything, I think that sounds awesome. I would love it to be Master Chief. But I think it's going to be Crash. I think Crash does fit. I can totally see him on the icon, and I can see it. Like, it works. I just never like Crash Bandicoot. Don't like the games. So, like, I don't want him to be in it. But, like, I feel like it's a really good bet. I'm
still holding out for Sora. I'm not even a Kingdom Hearts fan. I just want Sora to be in it.
Sure.
I just think that's, and I've said this before, I just think that's the biggest get for them at this point. And if we're just trying to, like, go as far as we can go with Smash and the reach that you can get with that, like,
you don't think Crash has bigger reach than Sora?
No, I don't mean as far as like popularity and legacy.
Okay,
I just mean in terms of like hard characters for Nintendo to get like the rights to use.
I got you. Yeah, I do think it's a shame that Streets of Rage isn't represented in Smash.
There's a lot of there's so many franchises that deserve to be in it that just aren't ever going to be in it.
Yeah.
Delvin,
where's Lara Croft?
I'm sticking with mine. Waluigi. I think that's what it's going to be.
Waluigi.
Oh, that was for real. I thought that was
no. I would not be surprised.
I think because so many people have been joking about it for so long and saying it, I can see them literally like, oh, here's Waluigi. Stop bothering us about it.
And people keep saying he's an assist trophy. There's no way he can be it. But honestly, I could see them being like, okay, he's not an assist trophy anymore. In this update, he's just no longer a trophy. He's a fighter now. Or they just leave them
both. I mean, Nintendo could literally do whatever they want. They're like,
they could. Yeah, they could.
There are no rules. Stop holding yourself to these damn ridiculous things. Okay, so I wrote down a couple more things. There's been rumors, like we're like what, going into Switch Year 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think now is the right time to start thinking about sequels. We're already seeing like we're getting the Mario Rabbids sequel. I think a lot of people are probably expecting something from Mario at some point, maybe next year. So a couple sequels I wouldn't mind seeing. Starlink, like if there was a Starlink 2 that was announced, I wouldn't mind seeing an Astral Chain sequel. I think that'd be really cool. A Luigi's Mansion sequel might be a little early, but I think that'd be really cool. There's a rumor that started floating last year that I think makes a lot of sense, that Capcom was working on a Switch exclusive Resident Evil game. They've done it before. They've done it not just before. They've done it multiple times before. They usually have always done it. They've done it. They did it on Wii U. They did it on 3DS. They've done it a bunch. They're not working on, Resident Evil for main console. They just shipped that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a big Resident Evil game announced tomorrow. That kind of makes sense. It would be a lot of fun.
What if it's another Revelations game?
Yeah, something like that. There's tons of indie games it could be. I know everybody's going to go to Silksong. That seems to be like the star of the show, but we still have Sports Story. I wrote to Oxenfree 2, Metal Slug, Mineko's Night Market still hasn't released.
I think we're we're never hearing from that game.
Right. The game's like 4 years old.
I don't think we see Silksong tomorrow, but I think Fall Guys will get a shadow drop.
Ooh, good call.
It got delayed out of summer. Technically, it's not summer anymore. They might have delayed it out of summer to purposefully put it here. They delayed it to add crossplay, so I think that would get a nice little drop in there. I think, and part of that prediction, I think that we get our Switch Online, I don't want to say an overhaul, but I think that we're going to get some kind of addition or expansion to it. There's smoke, there's fire with all those rumors with like Game Boy games or N64 games. That controller patent that was
have you guys been following that?
64 game.
Delvin?
No, I haven't actually.
There's an FCC filing that Nintendo, they have a confidentiality agreement that ends Friday. And it's for a new controller for Switch. And like, it doesn't have Amiibo support. It doesn't have NFC stuff. I don't think it has it may not have like Rumble or the Joy-Con patent in Rumble. So like we know it's not a Joy-Con. We know it's not like Mario Kart Live. There's data miners and sleuthers have been tearing this thing apart trying to figure out what it is. When I first saw it, I seriously thought it was a Ring Fit. Again, going back to sequels, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we got a Ring Fit 2, considering how well it sold. But most people seem to be on it's a N64 wireless controller for Switch. Mm-hmm. Which would mean N64 games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which is cool because Nintendo Switch Online needs more games, but you're talking to somebody who has like the best Nintendo 64 setup that I know of. Like in terms of our small group, it's like them putting Paper Mario on Nintendo Switch Online does nothing for me. It's like my setup
maybe
can
not
run
for
that a
you,
lot
but
better.
it's still, I don't know. It's not
valuable.
It's something they should have done a long time ago.
Yeah. Like Ocarina of Time alone is kind of a big deal.
It'll get people excited. Their goal is to just get people to resubscribe. That would do it. I'm hearing like rumblings of people saying that there's going to be a premium model subscription. It's going to cost more. You're going to get more stuff.
I wonder what that's going to do to our family group.
I don't know,
yeah.
But I could see if Fall Guys is shadow dropped with the Direct, that could maybe be also you get it free with Switch Online kind of thing, just to kind of incentivize people to.
So that feels like a very Xbox thing to do. I don't think Nintendo's doing that at all. They're going to get that 30%.
They're not giving nobody nothing for free.
Not at all. They're going to be like, and if you subscribe, you can have a free trial for Fall Guys this weekend.
I'm thinking if it's like part of like if they do a premium model where you're already paying more, like if you upgrade to this premium model type of thing.
That makes sense.
Like
upgrade to the
I don't know.
Get Fall Guys free for 7 days.
So here's how dumb I am. Right. I've got the 64 with the HDMI and the up-reser and everything, and it looks great. I'd probably still buy a wireless 64 controller for Switch just to have it. Because it's cool.
Probably.
I love Nintendo. I love Nintendo.
You probably, if it also costs more, if it costs.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
If they charged $10 more and made it $30 a year, you probably would also upgrade for it anyway.
Oh no, I'm going to upgrade anyway.
Yeah.
I want them to do GBA games because a lot of those games I don't have awareness over.
That's what I want to hear. Give me a GBA. Like the Nintendo 64 is basically what made me stop playing Nintendo.
Well, so the thing with the 64. The thing with the 64 that I always come back to, it's the same reason why we're never going to get a classic. They're never going to be able to bring a vast library of games because so many of the great memorable games are licensed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not going to get those. You're just going to get first-party games. You're going to get Mario 64, which we already have. They sold it to us for $60. And we're going to get Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and Paper Mario and Mario Kart and Mario Tennis. I will play Mario Golf, but again, I already have it. But yeah, you'll get stuff
You're not going to get Banjo.
Mario Party.
You're not going to get Pokemon Stadium.
You know, Mario Party with online, Nintendo Switch Online, be kind of fun.
They're not going to do that because they're going to be pushing Mario Party Superstars for October.
They still might. They did a lot of online stuff on Nintendo Switch Online.
I don't know. Not with this game just coming out.
You might be right. I could imagine like they show us a splash
Why would you
screen.
buy that if you could play that?
They show us a splash screen of 64 games and Mario Party is just nowhere to be found.
That's not going to be on there. No. That would be like them adding Pokemon games to their Game Boy Switch library. It's just not happening.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Which is unfortunate.
We're going to see Castlevania tomorrow.
Castlevania. Oh, that collection.
The anniversary collection's leaked all over the place the last couple weeks, so that's going to be there tomorrow. I imagine that's when it'll be dated.
Which Castlevania?
These are the GBA games. The Aria of Sorrow, Harmony of Dissonance, and all that stuff. I haven't played them, so I'm actually excited about this. I'll buy it. But I imagine they'll be shown tomorrow, and they'll be on Switch, Xbox, PlayStation.
I could see them doing some kind of thinking of your sequel, Captain Toad. That hasn't.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yet,
that's a good one.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am because it's like, unless they've got a new like Donkey Kong game in the mix, like obviously we could always see a Kirby game.
Kirby was the other thing I said. There's always a new Kirby game. We're due for one.
Yeah,
people are saying 3D Kirby. I don't know.
I think that might be a bigger budget than they want to.
I think so too. Yeah, Kirby doesn't need that. It would be cool. I don't see them doing it.
I'd agree. And I mean, next year is shaping up really, really nicely. They've got Breath of the Wild. They've got Splatoon. Like I expect that there will be a Fire Emblem, whether it gets shown tomorrow or not. Like next year, we'll have a Fire Emblem game. And they do a Xenoblade, and you're pretty set on the first party side. And you throw in a couple more. Like I'm almost more interested in the third party stuff that might get shown tomorrow. Like, will we get a House of the Dead remake? Is anybody else going to support? Is there another Ubisoft game? Like again, Capcom, like can we get a Resident Evil? And like I'm eager to see if anybody else does that, because I know I myself included, like we look down a lot of these ports, but people are still porting their games to Switch. You know, what was the Alan Wake Remastered was rated for Switch? You guys see that?
I saw that.
So that could be something to be announced and come at later, right? It could come in February or January or something like that. Yeah.
But what I'm hearing is no Metroid Prime trilogy. No.
I was thinking about that. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're pushing Dread hard.
Yeah,
they're pushing Dread really hard. I don't know about the trilogy. I am giving up hope on that because I've wanted that forever. I'm wondering if they give us a Prime 4 tease or something just to ride on this hype. Like, I feel like this is such a good opportunity. This is the most hype that Metroid has had probably ever. Why would they not capitalize on that? You know, it might not be ready for some time, but show us a little bit to get us excited.
I agree with you, but I think you capitalize on the hype after it's released, not before. So you just do it at the Game Awards. You do it in January. You do it in the spring.
That's risky because what if the hype goes away really quickly? What if it comes out and people play it and then they just stop talking about it? I think it depends on
how what they think of the game. If they believe in the game they've made, then I don't think that's a concern. Maybe if they haven't, maybe you do cash in. Maybe that's exactly what you do. Dev, my theory has long been, I think for the last 2 years on Check, my theory has been when they're ready to put Metroid Prime 4 like back on the roadmap, maybe give it a date or at least a year, which I think will be the year after next year. I think Metroid Prime 4 is Switch 2023. So I think next year they go, here's what Metroid Prime 4 looks like, and it's still a little ways away, so here's the Prime Collection. Like I think they've been holding that Prime Collection until they're ready to talk about.
I still think you need 2 years in between it.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Jesus,
we disagree on that. I think that's why they're holding the collection.
Huh?
I think they're holding the collection for that.
2 by then,
we might have one. It could be a launch game, or like it could launch on both. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right, I'm sad I won't be able to watch the Direct live.
Oh no!
Sports Story or Rewrite. It's really the only game. It's really the only game I need.
Come out already?
They delayed it, and I think they've probably delayed till next year. I'm not expecting it tomorrow.
Remember when you were scared that it was going to release the same month as Mario Golf?
For a while there, they were lining up really close to each other, and I
probably would have been better if they did because Mario Golf was not the one.
Yeah, but Mario Golf still took over. Like, there's so many people that bought that game. It sold extremely well. That I don't think those people would have been interested in Sports Story if they had launched.
I just meant for you personally.
No, I know. Yeah. No, I know. Well, I mean, I could have played Sports Story 2 years ago. I think it's next year. I think they delayed out of the year.
I don't see how it can be any longer. Although they added like a whole long campaign, didn't they?
They have added a whole bunch. It's like a much, much, much bigger game than it used to be.
Huh.
Sweet. I'll play that. I really enjoy Golf Story. That was.
I hope they raise the price and it's worth. Like, I hope they get their money back for all this effort they're putting into it. I'd hate to see them like spend 4 years on this game they release for $20 again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a bummer.
Go ahead and slap that Nintendo tax on it. Let's go.
I'll buy it.
Yeah. Buy 2. Give me 1 too.
I bought 3. I bought 4. I bought Sports Story for me. I bought Rebecca a copy of Sports Story.
You bought me Golf Story.
Or Golf Story. I bought another friend a copy of Golf Story, and then I bought the collector's edition.
I'm pretty sure you bought mine too now that I think about it.
See, I may have bought 4 or 5, 6 different copies of Golf Story. Game's amazing.
It's a really good game.
That's me and Undertale. I offered to get Devin Undertale, and everyone said, no, don't give him Undertale.
I'm not playing that.
You don't want to hear that podcast.
I've played that game already. I've played that in 1987, I promise, on NES.
It's when we were born.
Yes, I know. I'm old. It is what it is.
Delvin, we're going to laugh at everybody when it's Waluigi tomorrow.
Yes.
You heard it.
I'm going to blame you.
Right.
If it actually is Waluigi, you're never allowed on Shaq. There's only... Listen to me.
If it's Waluigi, you're coming on Shaq with us.
No, he's not. Listen to me. There is one person that is banned from Shaq. They're never allowed to be on. I'm not going to say who it is, but there is one person. If Waluigi comes to fruition tomorrow after this shit you've just said, there'll be 2 people. You're going to slide into the second person.
What is the beef with Waluigi?
It's just awful. What an awful idea. It's like after all of this stuff, after Persona,
but wouldn't that be
and
a Nintendo
Steve,
thing to do?
That's a
It
Nintendo
so
move.
would. It so would. No, I 100% agree that it's possible. It's just awful. It's possible and awful.
It's awful because it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. It's
All right, I'm on the Waluigi train. Let's go. Let's make
Let's
it happen.
go. Wow.
Get
why
Delvin
are
banned.
you the way that
To
you
get
are?
Delvin banned, just cause. He already said it was my fault, so I'm here for it. Let's go.
Don't blame me. You did this to yourself.
I've heard that so many times in my life.
Oh no.
That is the story for life. I can't wait for that DLC that's never coming.
Keep waiting. Keep waiting. See, here's the thing: is I'm building up anticipation, right? Getting people excited for the inevitable episode.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some questions because, boy, did you guys show up with some questions. Good Lord. We got some absolute nonsense, which I'm going to start with this one. How many cats will Eat the Hype end up with by the end of the year? And this comes from Skinny Matt.
48.
Just the two.
He's the crazy cat, man.
Like I went with from one
like
cat
4
to
more.
2 cats. That's the most cats.
Yeah,
That's-
and now you're going to go from 2 cats to 4 cats and then 4 to 8.
Not until the dog starts dying off.
Double them up.
Like I got to get rid
So
of
if a
one
dog
mouth.
dies, he's going to get like 2 more cats.
I got to get rid of one mouth to feed to make room for others.
I didn't hear what the cats' names were yet.
So the black cat is a girl, and her name is Annabelle. And the gray cat is a boy, and his name is Freddy. His original name was Salem, but the kids thought that was too basic. And they offered Binks, which I thought was more basic than Salem. So my wife, wanting to keep with the horror theme that I went with Annabelle's name, because that's what I picked, she wanted to name him Chucky, and I was like, that's too on the nose. People are going to be like, nah, you can't do that. So she said Freddy, and I was like, I don't hate it. So we have Annabelle and Freddy, our Halloween cats.
Are they like brother and sister cats?
No.
Okay.
Different
Is it, like,
litters,
similar
different
age?
cages. Yes.
Okay.
He's actually, I think he's going to be just the most adorable big cat because he's 3 months younger than her and he's about twice her size. He's huge. He's going to be like gigantic. And she's more dainty. She's small. She's probably going to be little.
They're adorable.
Oh, thank you very much.
Love Donnie very much.
We took a nap today and they curled in the bed with me. You know, the thing about Freddy, I don't want to get me on it. You started this tangent, Matt. You did this. The thing about Freddy, though, that I wish I could show people exactly what I mean by it, because I think it's exceptional. Freddy is the most cuddly cat I've ever seen ever. And I'm not saying that exaggeration. I mean, truthfully, he cuddles with everything that touches him. Like he's one of the weirdest cat. You can actually grab him and just lay him down and he'll go to sleep. It's crazy. Like anywhere. Like he loves to sleep anywhere and everywhere as long as you're like holding him or anything. He likes to be held. He wants to be carried. Like he can be running and I can just pick him up and literally just put him down on his side and he'll just he's like, yeah, we're napping.
I love him.
That's like his demeanor. Yeah. Melissa couldn't have picked a more perfect cat for her. This is all she's ever wanted from a cat. It's just the cat that will like show so much affection. He's like the most affectionate cat I've ever seen. Where Annabelle's much more like Kirby. She likes being around you. She doesn't necessarily want you to hold her or hold her down or restrict her. Like she just kind of wants to sit next to you. So she's more reserved, but he's kind of crazy. We've got pictures of him. He curls under blankets, snuggles under clothes. He's just super, super cuddly. Yeah. It's kind of weird, actually. It's like in a awesome. Weird way, he's that cuddly.
That is the kind of cat I'd want. Just super chill. I'm going to lay wherever and we're going to do this. That's the kind of cat I'd want if my wife would ever let me have a cat. Not going to happen.
We got pictures sleeping across her neck, on top of her hair, on the small of her back. Literally fell asleep just on her. She was laying on her side and he just fell asleep on top of her hip. Like just
perfect. I know
wherever.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
She loves it.
All right. Well, so Donnie will end up with more cats if the dogs start dying, Matt, to answer your question.
Oh,
if the dogs start
so
dying
morbid.
off, he'll start multiplying his cats. But until then,
Archie's got to go at
just
some
the
point.
2 for the end of the year.
He's so old. He's so old.
Like Delvin. Moving along.
Archie and me got to go eventually.
This question comes in from Paul Callicoat. He says, now that I might be having a PS5 next week, spoilers, he got it. Besides
Nice.
Spider Miles, what is hands down another must-get game for PS5? Also, at Eat the Hype, which faceplates would you recommend for PS5?
PS5
So let's start with the
recommendations. Kana, Death's
Kana.
Door, and I want to throw you one. I
Death's
haven't
Door is
played
not
it
on PlayStation.
at all.
Which pisses me off.
At all.
No.
Oh, that sucks for you guys.
Well, if it ever comes on Platinum, it.
Kana, I'm gonna throw one. I played it on PlayStation 4 and I really liked it. I've seen the PlayStation 5 improvements. I kind of want to replay it. Is Sackboy's Big Adventure? I really like that game, and on PS5 it looks awesome.
Didn't you have it?
I had the PlayStation 4 copy and I sold it when I was trading up my systems. I've been thinking about getting another copy to play it on PS5 because I saw like the comparison video of what they did on PS5 and it just looks much better. And I really like the game. So that'd be the one I'd pick.
Rebecca, you have a PS5. You
I
probably
do.
never play it. Do you have any recommendations for Paul?
Not yet. I'm waiting for recommendations for myself.
Life is
I'm definitely
Strange,
going to try
True
Kana.
Colors.
That's honestly like the only new game that I've really played. Like I've been playing around with PlayStation Now and like just kind of dipping into like, because I haven't had a PlayStation since the PS2. Like I missed out on PS3 games, I missed out on PS4 games, so I have a lot of catching up to do in that regard, and I feel like I'm pretty unique in that respect. I feel like there's not a lot of people in my position who missed out on the PS4 or the PS3.
Well, you should play Ratchet when you get some time. Play
I know. I do want to play Ratchet. I'm looking forward to Stray when that comes out next year.
Yeah,
I
me
really
too.
want to play that.
Yeah, not playing that.
As for recommendations,
Ratchet, Paul,
not so much.
play Ratchet. Play Ghost of Tsushima. Like that's another good one.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Donnie at all, ever. It's just a waste of your time. But yes, Ghost of Tsushima, play that. It's a great game. All right, let's see. We got so many
plates.
questions. Where should I go?
Like,
the
when
plates.
it comes to plates, there's only the D brand black plates. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you to customize your plates, not just because I did it. There's a specific reason why I customize my plates, which is why Devin knows. The third-party plates that you can buy, they don't have the PlayStation logo cut out. They're not allowed to. And quite frankly, that's kind of like the coolest part of the plates, is that they have that logo cut out, because you can put stickers and change the colors and lights and stuff underneath the plate to give your system some pop. It's like even if you kept the generic white plates, you can put that logo underneath the white plates. It makes the entire PS5 look better.
That's what I did.
Just that little logo. So like you need to keep the OEM plates. So if you're looking for something snazzy, I will tell you to customize your own plates. It's very simple. You can get some of that sticky spray and you can paint them black. It peels right off. It's very easy. Or if you want to do something crazier, you could send them off to an artist like on Etsy or something to custom you. Or you could sticker bomb them like I did. And it wasn't hard. It was, it's not easy. You got to like kind of plan ahead, but I think it looks awesome. I love my PlayStation 5. I think it looks great. Yeah. So
I would say check out Toasty. Was it flamingtoast.com?
Yeah.
They go by Toasty stickers. That's what I did with mine. I sent them an image of Ghost of Tsushima, put it on the plate, have a front for it, so it looks like I have a Ghost of Tsushima special edition PS5. Like they do a really good job, and they have all the lights and the decals and stuff, so you can really customize your system any way you want. But that, like Donnie said, that'd be the way I would go, because you get to keep the logo, you can customize the actual PS logo cutout, and it's pretty fresh, and you can make it your own. You make it totally unique. Yeah. All right, so let's get a couple more questions because we're running a little long here. Just to mess with Donnie. Chaffee asked, does Donnie actually like games, or is he just into buying things?
I think it'd be better if
Both?
you guys answer this one.
I'm going with both.
Both.
He definitely likes buying things because he was just buying guns.
Yes.
He bought a hot tub. He bought a sauna. He has every console under the sun and lots of games and Game Pass. So because he has Game Pass, he likes to just buy more shit.
That's honestly, I buy more stuff because of Game Pass.
You have more money to spend because you're not buying games.
I just find myself with money. Today I bought Far Cry, the Gold Edition, and it was like the first time that I actually had to sit down and buy like a first like real big game. It's like, oh yeah, we used to do it like this. This feels so antiquated. Because Kevin's getting on PlayStation 5 and I don't want to play it on PlayStation 5, so I went and bought my own copy. So
now we can't play together.
I was gonna play together anyway. All about that
let's
Delvin
you can
life.
go blow some stuff up while I try to be stealth. Let's come on.
Nope.
And I'm getting on PlayStation 5, and that's a negative for me, dog.
You can
I
get
don't
an
wanna
Xbox.
play with you.
Good.
I don't want to play with you. Though.
Dev, you can get an Xbox and we can play together.
Yeah, no,
That's not happening.
No.
Not yet.
Tried.
Not yet. Eventually, just not yet. Let's see. I'm gonna save this one from Brendan for next time for Elaine because she's gonna kill us all. A
lot of questions.
Is that
There's
old?
a lot.
It's from Rude Days 93, with the big three all having their E3 press conferences and showing a roadmap for the near future. Which platform are you most excited for?
I think he's talking about. So you thinking the PlayStation State of Play was like an E3
I think
show?
so.
Okay. That was an E3 show.
I don't think it was like an E3 show either.
Me either.
People have forgotten, like since Sony left E3, like how awesome Sony used to be at E3. I guess that was like a Sony E3 pre-show,
For real.
not the actual show. I don't know. I mean, without my biases aside, like I really want to. There's a part of me strongly wants to say Switch because I know next year I'm gonna be playing Breath of the Wild 2, or at least I hope next year I'm gonna be playing Breath of the Wild 2. And of all the things that are coming out and everything, I still think that's the top of my list of things I'm most excited to play. It's just because I'm a big Zelda fan. But if I'm talking about the entire like ecosystem and platform and everything together, it's Xbox, because Xbox has a very like strong roadmap. It doesn't look that way right now. I think PlayStation's in the same boat. Like for the next year, lighter than what you would expect with a new console. But after this upcoming year, things really kick into gear. And as we see Bethesda fold more into that, like we saw that last E3, where you start to see like Redfall and Starfield, I think when you start seeing more of that cycle in behind the next Gears and Avowed and Fable and Perfect Dark, and when they start throwing in like, and here's Doom, and here's Wolfenstein, and here's Indiana Jones, and like it's going to start to feel, I think people are going to be kind of stunned or like taken aback what Xbox is going to look like in 2023 and 24. I think they have like a passive awareness, but I don't think the Bethesda thing, like this week, I think is the 1 year anniversary of the Bethesda news, by the way, if you guys didn't know. I don't think that's settled into like the gamer headspace yet. Like they know they've got it, but they're still getting Deathloop and stuff. Like it hasn't really hit. Xbox has already announced a pretty strong first-party catalog. You think about it, like we get Perfect Dark, Fable, Avowed, Hellblade, Forza, Motorsport. Like all of this stuff is in the next 3 to 5 years, and then you throw Bethesda on top of it. And I think I can easily see a place where Xbox consistently has 4 big AAA games hitting Game Pass every year.
Yeah.
And I think 4 is being
generous,
light,
yeah.
like light. Like they could have 6 or 7, but 4 seems very
real
easy.
Conservative.
Yeah. And I think I don't think people have caught on to that yet. And I'm very excited at what that's going to look like. Not just because I'm excited for those games, because some of them I am and some of them I'm not. But I'm really excited about Game Pass, and knowing that I'm already in on all of it makes me real excited. I don't have I don't have to pick and choose what I can buy and what I don't want to buy, or what I'm going to play when I'm going to play it. I already got all of it. And that's a crazy feeling. It's like, I've got it all. It's all done. It's all been paid for,
I will add to that the fact that all those games are going to be coming out eventually. I feel like it gives Xbox time for those studios to take their time with their games. Because you got all that stuff coming. Bethesda's currently got all this stuff you can kind of take your time and get stuff out when it needs to come out and make sure it's polished when it comes out. So, like right now, it feels like they need Halo. Well, they feel like they need Halo, but a couple years down the line, that might be the farthest from the circumstance because they have so much stuff in the pipeline. It's going to just be like, well, this may get delayed, but we have all these other games that's coming. Yeah. We got Doom, we got Wolfenstein, we got Indiana Jones, and we got the old school Xbox games that you all know and love. You got the Hellblade. So it's like Xbox to me has the most potential to do something special. Yeah, because we kind of already know what PlayStation does.
Yep. I 100% agree. I'm more excited to see what Xbox is going to do than I am PlayStation. I know exactly what I'm going to get from PlayStation, and I know I'm going to be here for it, but I'm more excited to see what Xbox does to possibly get me to buy one of their systems. Like, I'm not a big Bethesda guy, so like Doom and Wolfenstein and all that stuff doesn't really entice me in any way, but Deathloop, Dishonored, stuff like that does. So if they can get more stuff like that, Hellblade 2, those type of things.
So are you excited for Redfall?
Not really.
That's Arcane too, right?
It is, but it's vampires and shit. I don't give a fuck about vampires. I feel like vampires the way I feel about zombies. Like, I'm just tired
over
of it.
The
way you feel about Marvel characters, I'm just like, I'm good.
How many vampire games are you playing?
It's not so much that I'm playing vampire games.
The concept of it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
it's very 2008.
From the Twilight. It's
yes.
just like I never want to see another vampire
It's so
thing
over.
again.
Yes, I'm with you, Dev.
What about Blade?
Yeah, I was gonna say because Redfall didn't look anything like Twilight.
It doesn't, but it's vampires.
It's the concept.
I get you.
The gothic,
I got you.
The vampire stuff. I don't want to see it.
I've never been into looter shooters, right? So like the Borderlands thing has me a little uneasy, but like I want to try it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see what your take will be on that. But again, I feel like you'll play it for 10 hours and be done with it.
I don't think they're done. I was going to say, I also don't think they're done, especially for the next 2 years. I don't think they're done securing big partner Game Pass games either. I think they will be. When they hit their cycle stride, when they get in place, they'll stop doing that as much because they won't need to. But like, as evidenced by this past year, like when they got Outriders and then they got MLB The Show, I was like, yeah. So that's how they're filling in the gaps. Like I was, as an Xbox fan, I got really almost like at peace because if you look at the next year, you're like, man, it looks like a little light next year, right? But I know that there'll be a handful of big games that they put into Game Pass. You know, like they'll have more Back 4 Bloods, they'll have more MLB The Show. And we've had so many of those this year. Again, today I had to buy a full retail release game, and it feels strange because I haven't, because with Game Share and Game Pass, I haven't had to do that outside of the Nintendo space in so long. That's just how good Game Pass has been. I've been just living off Game Pass basically since I bought the next gen console. It's been great.
Yep. Excellent. All right, so this will be the last question. A little lighter.
Rebecca. Hang on. I know she's very excited for the Switch. Like I was gonna say, obviously you're gonna say Switch, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that you haven't already said. There's very little that Xbox could do to like.
It's like on the Switch
buy an
front,
Xbox.
On the Switch front, I'm excited for Splatoon and Breath of the Wild. Don't get me wrong, but we don't know a whole lot beyond that. Like we know there'll be Mario, Fire Emblem. Like we know stuff will come out, but we don't know what's coming out yet. And based off the last 2 years I've had with Switch, like I'm a little more lukewarm. You know, I'm a little bit more like, show me.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe tomorrow will change your mind.
Maybe
that's true.
Tomorrow
that's
it starts.
True. I don't know. I think
a great start.
You're right. We don't really know what the Beyonds are, but to me, I don't need to look any further than that because some of my favorite franchises we already know we're looking forward to next year. Zelda's my favorite of all time. Splatoon's quite possibly my second favorite Nintendo of all time at this point. We're getting a experimental Pokemon game next year. Like, I don't know. There's a lot to look forward to.
Yep.
We know that Metroid's coming someday.
Metroid, baby.
We don't know when, but they're going to dangle it in front of us forever.
Dangling that carrot.
Dangling it.
Bastards. All right, so last question comes from Sean. He says, picked up Life is Strange based on convos on Here and Shack. Love it. Specifically that it reminded me of how much I enjoy discovering new music, which led me back to that pastime. Has gaming inspired you to pursue another non-gaming hobby or pursuit? And he just wants to throw in that he's enjoying the new show. So has anybody picked up anything different? Any new hobbies or gone back to anything based on, playing video games?
That's a good question.
I don't think so. I was thinking about this earlier. I don't think I played a game and suddenly wanted to go do something in the world like that. I will second it. I did respond to him. I love the music in Life is Strange. It's one of my favorite parts of the game is finding new music. And they just have a really great... I vibe with whoever selects the music for those games. I have all the playlists and stuff. So I love that he found that as well. But no.
Yeah.
I can't think of any, but there might be, like, if I really thought about it, like maybe just to like check out something, maybe that I didn't ever try before. I don't know. I would have to think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I love Far Cry 5. So I got like really crazy Republican for a summer. And then I bought like a bunch of like ammo and grenades and guns and and then like I just started blowing stuff up outside in the woods and stuff.
Well, since you mentioned it, GTA 5
joke, guys.
Became a drug dealer.
Did you just buy a gun?
That's just Miami. I did buy a gun today. Yeah, I bought 4 of them. They're gifts.
You bought 4 guns.
Why?
They're gifts.
Why do you need those?
They're gifts. Who gives guns for gifts?
What?
Is this Texas?
Donnie does, apparently.
Why do you need them?
Okay. My father-in-law is super into guns. He loves guns, and he's setting up a little... Because he's a hunter and stuff. That's what people do, Rebecca. I know it's strange.
That's not what I do.
I know it's strange. Like when I was in... Well, I can't say when I was in Cleveland people don't like guns, because that ain't the truth. Like a lot of people with guns.
Oh, we know.
Do. Yeah, no. But like not in the same way. Like he's an outdoorsman and he hunts and stuff. So I had a shotgun for personal home protection for many years, and it's just a beast. Like it was a 12 gauge, and it like was a beast to shoot. And I was like, we should downsize. So I sold the guns that I owned. And I bought a 9mm, and then I bought a little .22 rifle, and then I bought my father-in-law the same one, so I'm gonna give to him for Christmas, because he just likes it stuff. So I'm just kind of buying.
So you have 2 for protection?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need 2 for protection?
1 for me and 1 for my wife.
Okay.
Or if I have one. So honestly, if you want to have the real conversation, honestly, when we travel. I usually carry a handgun like in my suitcase or my car, especially with the Challenger. I don't know how things are in Pennsylvania or like Philadelphia, but like driving a Challenger around Atlanta, not like the most safe thing you could do. They get stolen and people get stopped with them a lot. So it's one of those types of things. Like if I'm going somewhere where I think could be an issue, I usually put it in the glove box and I have it. Or if I sleep next to it with the bed. The rifle is a small rifle. It's very easily shot. Like my daughter could use it, my wife could use it without an issue. If they had to. Obviously, if they have to. And like my father loves this stuff, so he teaches everybody like how to safely, load, disload, how to shoot. So if they had to, because heaven forbid, like I go on a trip or something and somebody comes in the house.
I can respect that. Yeah.
Like what would you do?
Die? Like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I like to, as Devin said earlier, I like to have a little more agency in those situations.
Yeah.
It's good to have options.
It's fair.
I don't have any weapons either.
I'm not a gun person. I don't want people to like take the wrong impression. I'm not out in the world like just shooting guns. I think I had my shotgun. I think I shot it 5 times in 8 years. Like I never really shot it. But it's something that I think about. I don't live in a bad neighborhood or something, but it happens a lot. I also work for emergency management. I get all of our public safety texts. The amount of home break-ins, invasion, like it's a lot more than you think it is. It's a lot more than the news says it is. We get this stuff every day. Stuff like that happens downtown. And that's why I don't live downtown, but like it just makes you think like, well, what if it did happen? If it did happen, what would you do? And it's like, I'm not going to like fist fight somebody. Probably not going to win.
A knife to a gunfight.
Right, exactly.
Do it.
Exactly. So it's for peace of mind. It's there. It's there if it's needed.
Yeah. Well,
how did we start talking about this?
Dev kept bringing up the fact that I bought guns today.
I asked about hobbies, and he was
I shouldn't have made. I shouldn't have made the Far Cry joke. The joke went too far. You know what? Just in case people don't like, guys. The Republican thing was a Far Cry 5 joke. I'm not being serious. It's a joke. I was exaggerating as a joke.
Note in the same sentence, I said I sold drugs because of GTA 5.
It was a joke.
Yes.
I was going to joke. I was going to joke that Stardew Valley made me go live on a farm and be a farmer, or that Mario Kart made me like drive like and sell
I've
banana
seen those
peels.
Mario Kart people on TikTok like racing through traffic, little go-karts and stuff.
Oh, is that like a new trend?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like the craziest video game and then like applying that to real world. And the first thing I thought of was Far Cry, and I kind of regret thinking it now.
Yeah.
Played some Grand Theft Auto, bought a rocket launcher.
Stole some
decided
cars.
to go on a rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage.
Pokemon got me into dogfighting.
I was gonna say I took like a really sad enjoyment in like jumping on top of turtles and blocks. Like I just go running.
Oh,
just jump.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh God. On that note, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this.
Delvin played his Rocky game. Started just beating up fools in the neighborhood.
Immediately, we lose all of our patrons.
Well,
yeah, just gone. Oh man. Well,
look at this. Hang on, before you sign off, I want to shout out the chat here. Hayley chiming in the conversation. I live downtown. LOL. It's bad.
No, bad.
It bad.
No gun though. You're in Canada.
Yeah.
Like.
They're going to steal your stuff and apologize for it. What are you talking about?
Canada.
Downtown Canada is probably very different
Guess
from
what?
downtown.
If I lived in Canada,
Detroit.
I probably wouldn't have a gun either. Wouldn't have locks. Wouldn't have a lot of things.
I actually know people who live in certain areas out here that just don't lock their doors or anything. I'm just like, I don't understand that.
You must live like way out of.
To be fair, Donnie, you and me is living in Philly. I don't live in.
I know who don't live anywhere near.
No, I know that. It's just when I think
I don't live in Philly.
When I think of Pennsylvania,
I live in the cushy
all I think
suburbs.
Is Pittsburgh and Philly. It's the only thing that comes to mind.
Nothing bad happens in the suburbs. We get like break-ins every once in a while, and nobody dies.
She wasn't born and raised in West Philadelphia.
I was not.
So,
yes. Isn't Meek Mill from Philly?
She spent most of her days.
Is it what, Delvin?
Meek Mill from Philly?
He might be.
Yeah. Meek Mill, the rapper.
So. I think so.
Who?
You know who Meek Mill is?
I think I only know the name because I think it's from...
Meek Mill?
Yes.
He's a rapper.
He's a famous rapper. He's incredible.
Delvin.
Oh, yeah.
Another podcast, bro.
Yeah, he was born in Philly. He was born in Philly.
He makes Philly sound dangerous.
Outkast is, though, right, Donnie? You know who Outkast is?
Of course.
Big Boy Andre. Okay, good.
Legends, man.
See, you got to relate it to their area. You can't just be dropping Meek Mill out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna say Andre 3000 is a little better than Meek Mill. Honestly, not even.
Never heard of him.
Andre 3000.
I'm throwing judgment without even hearing. Just
the sad part is, people in this generation might feel the exact opposite.
Look, if that's the ground,
because we're old.
If that's the grounds, like I tell this to my daughter all the time, if that's the grounds that we're basing things on now, is that the people now agree more with that than me, we just end it.
But we've become our parents. That's basically what
I know.
It is.
Yeah.
Back in the old days with Outkast.
Stuff was actually
Back in my
good.
day, music was good. They were talking about stuff.
Yeah.
That's exactly what my parents said. That's what I say to my kids now. It's just...
like how old that sounds. Like Meek Mill? Who?
Meek Mill. What kind of name?
Yeah.
What the hell does that even mean? It's dumb. Okay, guys, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
It's been fun, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to follow us over on the Twitters at Play Some Video Games. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter. Give us a 5-star review. No, just if you want to, feel free to review us over on Apple Podcasts or whatever. And for everybody here, I'm Dead Ninja Dev, and we out.
Peace.
Peace, folks. Not ready with the video.
Oh, well.
Dev gave me no sign off
already. You knew I was